Hey, welcome back to Blanchy Talks Watches. Today we're going to be looking at the Pedral Okapi. We're going to be doing the full review of this absolutely stunning watch. Before I dive in, I'll do a quick wrist check. I've got the Zealous Swordfish 40mm in the teal dial on the wrist today. Lovely, lovely watch. Okay, back to the main event. I was lucky enough to be able to keep this for a couple of months, and you might notice it's been a bit of time since my last video, and kind of selfishly I delayed the video because I wanted to have this watch a little bit longer, and Kevin Pedral, the owner, was kind enough to let me keep it for some extra time because this is something special in my opinion. I'll give a very quick look over the watch before I go into some details. Every part of this watch is very, very well done. Okay, so some of the specs on the watch. We've got a 38mm case. Obviously it is not your standard round, and it's not exactly a square either. It's a little bit unusual, like most of the stuff that Pedral do. The dial then is very unique. You can see the shape there. It's not a circle, it's not a square. Not quite sure what to call that shape, but it is unusual and very, very aesthetically pleasing. Obviously now we've got the beautiful Sunburst on the dial. This really does catch the attention. This will be available in numerous different colours. Now on the version I have here, it is a prototype, so there is no lume, but the production models will have lume on it. So I've said it is 38mm wide case. The thickness is 10.8mm, so no problem getting it under a shirt cuff. The crown then is a 6.5mm crown, and it is push-pull, so there's no screw down on it. Doesn't need it. 100 meters water resistance. That's more than enough for most applications. This isn't a watch that you're going to be going scuba diving with, but it will withstand the usual day-to-day wearing, and you don't need to baby it around water. In terms of lug to lug, it's about 43.5mm, 20mm lug width. Quite a popular size, so there are plenty of strap options, but to be honest, I would not be changing from the standard strap. This leather strap is quite possibly the most comfortable leather strap I've ever worn. Straight out of the box, it is incredibly soft. It's a funny one. It's always hard to kind of get across on a video how soft and comfortable a strap is. This feels like a strap I've worn for a couple of years. I've plenty of well-worn leather straps, and this is what it feels like. It's just buttery smooth and soft, and it doesn't matter if your arm swells up a bit during the day and the watch gets a little bit tight. It still feels very, very comfortable. Now that's not an issue. Obviously, if you need to change the size, you can just pop open very quickly and change it. Then it has the butterfly clasp, which is has the engraved buckle on it as well. Nice action on it. I've worn this quite a lot. I've given this a really good test. I've never noticed it popping open, which can be an issue on some butterfly clasps, and sometimes it's user error rather than the clasp itself, but I've never had that issue on this one. Sits quite comfortably with the angle out there following the contour of your wrist on the bottom. Very, very nice. So let's do a bit of a close-up on the dial here. So as I've mentioned, there is numerous different colours. I'll put some more details in the description. I believe they're all going to be Sunburst, which is fantastic because the Sunburst on this is something exceptional. You've got the Pedral logo then at the 3 o'clock, and obviously the sub-dial then at the 6. This is a great balance, I find, of enough interest with the sub-dial, but not overbearing. I think it's unique enough that I wouldn't want to see too much going on the dial. It definitely catches attention. I know myself, wearing this for a few months, I believe this is my most commented on watch that I've ever worn, which is frustrating because I don't get to keep it. So I've had a lot of compliments on this, and I'm really surprised how many compliments I've had and people noticing my watch. Most watch collectors will know people don't notice your watch, and if they do, they don't comment on it. I have all sorts of watches, large and small, and all sorts of colours, and very, very rarely does anyone comment on my watch at all, let alone complimenting it. And with this watch, I've had multiple people commenting on it in the one day. In the one visit to the office, I've had 3 or 4 different people come up to me and say the watch is nice, or what's that, that's very different looking. Look, it's not something that I'm looking for in a watch, for people to be complimenting it the whole time, but I have to say it was certainly nice to get the attention from it, and it was unexpected. I've had some really, really nice watches for review on this channel, from Omegas to God knows what else, loads of different amazing prototypes, and this has got the most attention, and I can see why. It's absolutely stunning. It's just so unusual, and it's not unusual in a I don't know, a gaudy way or a, you know, an in-your-face way. There's just something really nice and subtle about it. The most complimented thing about it is the colour. When people see that sunburst, especially in the sun, people are drawn in by it. But then people get a bit closer and say, like, what's that? That's a bit different. Why is the shape like that? What's the story behind it? And look, as a lover of watches, I love to have any opportunity to tell people about watches and where they come from and what the story is. So yeah, look, it was a great conversation starter, I found. As for the movement then, it is another fantastic part of the watch. So it's got the Selitta SW260-1 Elaboré movement, with some engraving there around the display window. This is a 101 limited edition. It's a prototype, you can see there. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think that the green and the gold work amazingly together. Obviously you can't see it when you're wearing it, but look, I just I do like to take the time to look at all of the details. It's just such a really lovely movement. See, 31 joules Swiss made. It's just gorgeous. I've spent far too long looking at the back of this watch, just watching it tick away like a little heartbeat there. The details on this thing are fantastic, from the lovely machined edges, and it looks like such a crisp edge. There's no imperfections at all. The very slight chamfer means it is not sharp in any way. When you see something that's this crisp, like look at that angle there for the bottom of the case, it just looks surgically precise, but it's not sharp at all. It's a really difficult thing to get. It's such crisp lines, but to still not to have it sharp at all. I find that as well on a lot of watches around the lugs. You can see it's a bit more rounded in the bottom, and the top is sharper, but again, not sharp. I found on some watches where I'm trying to fit a strap that might be slightly too big, that it damages the strap because the case can be a bit sharp, but that's not the case here. Okay, I'm going to try it on the wrist so you can see what it looks like. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you'll know my wrist is 7¼ inches. To give you a point of reference for what it looks like, I have this kind of just past midway on the strap. Nice, solid, firm click there. Pedral logo on the bottom. And I'll just pull the keeper down. You can see it there, it's an absolute beauty. I like to think the 42mm is my sweet spot for watches, but this really has changed my mind. Even the Zealous I was just wearing there is 40mm, and I feel that's slightly too small for me. No feeling at all of that for this watch. This watch just fits perfectly. Again, the strap, just perfection, it just melts into your skin. following the contours beautifully, and the Sunburst dial. Yeah, look, if you can't tell, I am a massive fan of this watch. One thing I love about micro brands is the interactions between the owners and customers and fans, and I have to give props to Kevin Pedral, the owner of Pedral Watches. He has been fantastic on the Facebook pages and the different groups. If you're not aware of the likes of the League of Microbrand Watches, check it out on Facebook. It's a group with loads of customers and owners, and people get to see upcoming projects and stuff, and Kevin has been fantastic with his interactions with the community there, and has given away plenty of watches to some really appreciative watch fans. I think it says a lot about a brand when you get to interact with the owner, and how the owner interacts with customers and potential customers. It says a lot about what kind of a watch you're going to get. It's one of the main selling points for me about micro brand watches. You're not just buying from some faceless corporation, you're buying from Kevin or from any of the other guys on the site there. You can talk to them, they're real people, they really care about what they're producing, and you can really see the care and attention that's put into this watch. It's not the first watch I've reviewed from Pedral. I think Pedral is fast becoming one of my favourite brands. I'll put a link in the description to my unboxing of this and my previous review. From what I've seen, Pedral are definitely going places. Once they can get a couple of watches launched into the market and people buying them and more reviews out, this is a name to keep an eye out for. They're going to be going places. They are phenomenal watches. The quality is absolutely there. Honestly, I can't fault this watch in any way apart from not having Lume, and the production model will have Lume. So there's literally no downside to this watch that I can say. And in fairness to Kevin, he messaged me a few times. He said to me as well, look, just do your honest review. I don't want anything at all. Just be honest, good or bad. I want people to get an honest review of it. And I mean, that's great, because that's all I do. I don't care, to be honest. I'm not in this for money. I'll do what I want to do. But he stressed the fact that he just wants honest feedback. And yeah, honestly, Kevin, this is a fantastic watch. There's nothing I would change. I said it before in previous videos, I'm not a huge fan of 3 o'clock logos. I prefer it to be at the 12. I don't know what it is about this one. It's just perfect. Yeah, I wouldn't move it at all on this watch. I've been absolutely mesmerised by this watch for a couple of months now. I think I've had it, and it's been getting the most wrist time from my collection by a very large margin. I think I've had to force myself to change it a few times, just to give other things a run out, because it's not fair to just wear one watch when I have a collection of watches that I actually own that I really should be wearing more. But no, this is a fantastic watch, and they are going to be limited edition. And with micro brands, you never really know if there's going to be another run of them. So that's another draw for me. I like things to be limited. It's great when you don't see everyone wearing a similar watch to you. It's even better when you do come across someone with the same watch as you. But look, if you want one of these, grab it at launch. I wouldn't risk waiting to see will they hang around or get on the secondary market. I can't see the secondary market being too good for these, because honestly, I think anyone who buys them is going to hold on to them. I think there'll be very few people buying them to get rid of them after trying them. When I saw the pictures of this one initially, I was a little bit hesitant. I wasn't sure on the case. I love the dial shape. I wasn't too sure on the case. The second I got my hands on it, it's just blown me away. You can see my unboxing video if you want to see my live reaction. But yeah, this is just, it's up there. It's one of my favourite watches that I've ever reviewed. I've reviewed a lot of different watches. I mentioned Omegas earlier. I expected to have more of a reaction to them. Something like this is absolutely top tier for me. I think I'd choose this over putting money aside for an Omega. I'd rather have a few of these than one of those. It's just such a beautiful watch. Okay, I'm starting to ramble at this point, so I think I might cut it off here. Look, my honest reaction, absolutely beautiful watch. If you're thinking about buying one, don't hesitate. This will not leave your collection. I'm not 100% sure when they're going to be live. I will put more details in my description, and I'll update it with links when I can. But yeah, look, Facebook is probably the best place to get more information on these. I'll put links down there, and look, let me know what you think in the comments. Obviously, I absolutely love this watch, but I want to hear what other people think too. And massive thank you again to Kevin Pedral for letting me hold on to it for far too long, because I really didn't want to send it back. So thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.